This is Sarah and welcome to my crochet channel. Today's video I'm going to show you how to make this cute and adorable bandana for your dog or pet that looks like a baseball. Well, sort of. It's not round, but it was a lot of fun to make, and I had a friend ask me, so you've got a baseball bandana, do you have a basketball one? And I thought, well, that's easy enough. We'll use the same pattern. We'll just make it in orange. I used blue trim, and we'll add the black stitches like this so that it resembles a basketball, and then add the little face up here where this one has the stitches. But it's the same basic pattern, and really you can put any embellishments that you like. Maybe a pom-pom or a bow, flowers, whatever you want to add to your bandana. Now this is a free crochet pattern on my blog, and I'll put that blog link down in the notes underneath this video. Now this pattern does come in two sizes. We have an extra small for 8 to 10 inch neck and a small for 11 to 12 inch neck. And it's kind of up to you how big you want to make your bandana, how much you want to increase your length. And as you increase your length, you'll be increasing your width. So it can be used for any size dog or pet. And I'll explain more about that when we get started. What you're going to need to make one of the bandanas is some yarn, of course, and I'm using worsted weight number 4 yarn. This is all Red Heart Super Saver. I'm making one to resemble the baseball, white with red, and I'm going to do the little face in the lighter blue. The darker blue is too dark and you won't be able to see it, so I'm going to use this lighter blue just for the little face. Now, if you prefer a cotton bandana for your dog or your pet, you can do a cotton as well. The peaches and cream, sugar and cream, I love this cotton, or most cottons will work for this pattern, and it will make a little bit lighter of a bandana. We're going to be stitching today with our H hook. This is an H8, which is a 5.00 millimeter crochet hook. You're going to need a needle for weaving in ends and for sewing on your face and your stitches. You'll also need a tape measure if you want to measure your dog's neck to make sure that the bandana is going to fit. It's a good idea to measure their neck and then maybe add an inch, and then as you work you can see if the bandana is going to fit them. And the last thing you need is your scissors. We're going to be starting at the bottom of our bandana, and then we'll work our way up, and then we'll add the ties, then the stitches, and the face. Alrighty, so what we're going to do to begin with is start with our slip knot. And then we're going to chain 4. We're going to begin stitching double crochets in the 4th chain from the hook. 1, 2, 3, 4. And we're going to stitch 4 double crochets. These first 3 chains will count as our first double crochet, and then we'll stitch 4 double crochets in the 4th chain, and that will give us a total of 5 double crochets. So we'll put our hook in, pull up a loop, yarn over, go through the first 2, yarn over, and go through the second 2. That's our double crochet. There we go. So we have our chain 3, which counts as 1 double crochet, and then we have 1, 2, 3, 4 more, so we have 5 double crochets. We're going to chain 3, and we're going to turn our work. We're going to place a double crochet in the same stitch as our chain 3. We'll place a double crochet in the next 3 double crochets. And then we're going to place 2 double crochets in this last one, which is our chain 3 that counted as our first double crochet. So we'll go right in the top of that chain 3. There we go. And we're going to stitch 2 double crochets. And by doing an extra one at the beginning and an extra one at the end of this row, we increased from 5 double crochets to 7. And this is how we will increase in order to get the shape of our bandana. All right, so let's chain 3. And we'll repeat what we did. Double crochet in the same stitch as our chain 3. 1 double crochet in each stitch across till we reach the last double crochet, and then we'll place 2 double crochets in the last one. And I think you can already see the triangle shape of our bandana forming. Right in the top there. There's 1 and 2. So now we've increased from 7 double crochets to 9. And we'll do that again. 1, 2, 3 chains. 1 double crochet in the same stitch as our chain 3. 1 double crochet in each double crochet across. And then 2 double crochets in that last stitch. 1 and 2. So now we went from 9 double crochets to 11. And I think you can see that that's the way this pattern is going to form that nice point of our bandana. All right, let's talk size. For the extra small size, we're going to do 3 more rows of double crochet, increasing 1 on each end. For the small size, you will do 5 more rows. Now, it's up to you which size you would like to do, and if you want to continue increasing for an even larger dog, it's up to you. Remember, you need to measure your dog's neck to see which size would fit best. For the demonstration, I'm doing the extra small size, so I'm going to do 3 more rows, just like we did here, increasing at each end on each row. So I'll add that extra double crochet, I'll double crochet in each stitch across, and then I'll increase on the end again, and I'll do this for 3 rows. And like I said, if you're doing the small size, you'll want to do this for 5 more rows. And if you're making it for an even bigger dog, do it for as many rows as needed for your dog or pet. So like I said, continue to repeat until it's as large as you want for your pet. I have completed those 3 additional rows for the extra small size. And remember, if you're making the small size, you needed to add 5 additional rows, increasing on each end so that we get that nice V shape for our bandana. Now, the last row we're going to do at the top, we're going to chain 3, and we're just going to place 1 double crochet in each double crochet across. So since our chain 3 counts as our first double crochet here, we're going to go in the next double crochet and we'll stitch 1 double crochet in each stitch across. No increases, no decreases, and this is no matter what size or how big you make it, your last row needs to just be 1 double crochet in each double crochet across, and this just gives us a nice foundation to work off of. All right, I'm at the end of my row. I'm not going to place 2. I'm just going to place 1. Because oops, I missed it, didn't I? Let's get in that stitch. There we go. We needed to just stitch 1 double crochet at the end in that last stitch, not 2. We're going to chain 1. And what we're going to do now is we're going to evenly single crochet down. We'll place 3 single crochets in the corner, and then we'll evenly single crochet back up the side of our bandana. And this will give us a nice even look. And the way we do that is we try to go in the stitches and avoid the holes. And when I'm stitching with double crochets, I try to put 2 single crochets in the end of each row. All right, so we're going to place single crochets evenly down the side of our bandana, and when we reach that corner, we're going to place 3 single crochets right in that corner. Give us a nice pointed bandana. So I've single crocheted evenly down this first side. I'm going to place 3 single crochets right in this point because I want it to be nice and pointy so it has the nice shape of the bandana. And then we'll just work our way right back up the side of the bandana so we have both sides evenly stitched up for a nice finished look. There we go. Try to keep in those stitches. Sometimes you have to put it in a hole, but it's best to try to keep it in those stitches. But see how that point looks? It looks real nice and the shape is real nice. This is the way that it should look when we have that finished edge. Now I'm going to cut my yarn. And we're going to go ahead and weave in these ends. So I'm going to turn it over to the back, use my needle, and weave in my ends. Now, I like to get it over with. If you don't want to do it right now, you don't have to. I just want to get the ends done. I hate having leftover ends to have to weave in, especially on a big project. But this is a small one, so it's not too bad. All right, I'm going to tidy up the other one, and then I'm going to show you how to add the ties. To add the ties, we're going to put our hook in right in that last stitch. Bring in our red or whatever color that we're using. And for the small size, you would chain 25. For the extra small, you're only going to chain 20. Now I know this seems like an awfully small tie, but I keep them short because I like to tie them in a set knot. Let me show you here for my dog's neck, and then I can just slip it right on their head, and there isn't any fumbling with ties, and it's set to their size, and also the ties are nice and short so they don't get caught in their toenails or their teeth. All right, so what you'll do now, if you're making it for a larger dog and you want your ties longer, you can certainly chain more here That again is up to you. We're going to slip stitch in the second chain from the hook. You just put your hook through, pull up a loop, pull that loop through the loop on your hook. And we'll do this all the way back down the tie. Once you reach the back to the top of the bandana, we're just going to slip stitch across, placing a slip stitch in each of those double crochet stitches. Now I chose to use red here because to me red and white says baseball, but if you're making these for a school mascot or your favorite baseball team, you can certainly make these in your favorite baseball team's colors. Again, you decide how you want to make it. Let your creative juices flow. All right, so we're almost back here. When we get to that last stitch, we're going to stitch a slip stitch right in that single crochet where we were going down the side, and then we're again going to chain 20 or however many you did for your bandana on this side. We want the tie on this side to be the same. We completed this one, so now we're going to turn, and instead of doing slip stitches, we're going to do single crochet stitches. So we'll go in the second chain and stitch a single crochet. And we'll place one single crochet in each of the chains across. I stitch a single crochet in each of the chains, and now I'm back to the bandana, and we're going to stitch a single crochet in each of the stitches across. So we'll just go right in and stitch those single crochets across the top of the bandana. All right, so now we're to the other side of our bandana, and we're to the other side of our ties. So what we'll do is we'll just place a single crochet in each of the slip stitches across. There we go. Guess I stitched those a little tighter than I thought I did. But that's the way that that'll work. We're stitching one single crochet and the rest of the way across this tie. So now our bandana has the trim and the ties. Now, I think this is wide enough for a small or medium dog. If you are making this for a much larger dog and you want your ties and your band up here to be thicker, you can chain one, turn, and add another row or two of single crochets. It's up to you, again, what you prefer. All right, so I'm going to cut my yarn and tie off. All right, I need to take a couple minutes and tidy up my strings, and then I'm going to show you how to add those stitches and the cute face. Alrighty, let's put on those stitches. Let me grab this so you can see how it looks. All I did is I made long stitches that look like V's to the bottom, and then I worked my way back up. I didn't put a set number of stitches. I just made it look like it had baseball stitches the way a baseball does. Alrighty, so I'm going to start up here at the top. And we'll leave a little bit for weaving in. And make sure that you're going in stitches and not holes, because if you go in the holes in between, you might lose that stitch. Okay, and also the size of the stitches is up to you. I just followed the edge down, trying to make my stitches somewhat uniform. And if they're not perfect, it's okay. And I'm making these just a little bit smaller than the other ones because this one is a little bit smaller of a bandana. And again, the amount of stitches is up to you that you make. And if you see that you've gone in a hole, you can always pull it out and fix it. And see how I go up in to the stitch itself and not the hole in between. And you don't want to pull it too tight. I mean, you want your stitches to stay put, but if you pull it too tight, you won't have any stretchiness because your dog or your pet is going to move around when it's wearing it. You want it on there where it won't get snagged, but you don't want it so tightly stitched that it doesn't have any give, I guess is what I'm trying to say. Alrighty, so I've got these done. Right up in that stitch. And that's how I put the stitches on. And then when I get down here, I just try to line up with what I've done on this side. And I just do the opposite. And go up this side. There we go. I put 4 or 5. Like I said, I don't put a set amount. There we go. There's some stitches. I'm going to turn it over and just weave it through, trying to stay only in the back of the stitches because we don't want the extra red to show through. Okay. Alrighty, so there's that one. And then I'll use my needle and weave this one down, and when I get that done, I'm going to show you how to add a cute little face. So I'm using this little bit lighter blue because the dark blue just doesn't show up very well. And so what I did to make the face is I sort of centered where I want my eyes, and if you have safety eyes, you can use those too. I just like doing the little French knots. Alright, so to do that, we have it come up here. We've left some for weaving in. I'm going to take my needle. I'm going to wrap that yarn around 3 or 4 times, but not too tightly. And when we go back through, make sure you go in a stitch, not a hole, or your little eye or knot will go through to the back. Okay, so there's one eye. And when I turn it over, I take that piece that I started with and I go ahead and tie a little knot back here. And that's going to keep that from pushing through to the back and help it stay put. Alright, so there's my one little eye. I'm going to line it up, make another one. Whoops. I don't want it on there too tightly or it won't slide off nicely. So just hold it with my finger, go through a stitch, and gently, there we go, pull to the back. There's your other little eye. And then I'll go ahead and kind of weave that down. So that's going to stay put. We don't want our eye sliding to the back. And I'm doing it this way because I'm going to use this same piece of yarn to make the smile. So there's the little eyes. And my other one has kind of a crooked smile. So I'm going to come, let's start on this side since that's the last eye I did. And it's up to you how silly you want your smile. I just have this thing, I guess because both my granddaughters are into Shopkins, that everything needs to have a nice silly smile, right? So you can do a plain smile, you can add, there we go, that little V on the end if you want it to look a little more silly, or a straight line. It's up to you how you want your smile to be. Again, use your creative juices. And that's what crochet is all about, because crochet is an art and you can do what you want. All right, so let's go ahead and cut these 2 strings off. And now our bandana is ready to be worn. And I want to give you a little hint about what I do, about how I put them on and tie and everything. I know I talked about this earlier, but what I do is I make sure that this measures what my dog's neck is, plus about 1 inch for comfort, because this is just going to slide right over their neck and sit right on top of their own collar. So then I just take these 2 and I tie a knot. There we go, nice and tight. And then all I have to do is slide this right on my dog's neck when we're going to have a fun game outside or go to a softball or baseball game. And it's the same thing with the basketball style. The face is done the same. The only difference is I just made straight stitches going down and then across in black so that it sort of resembles a basketball. And these are great to make if you're going to do school fundraisers for people to buy. You can make them in your school colors and people can buy them to support your school or team and put them on their pets, and it's a lot of fun. And that's how you make my baseball and basketball dog and pet bandana.